but it sells the bike experience, and probably is the most immersive topic of this. It's the haptic feedback. In fact, like if it said, you should play this game with a PlayStation 5 controllers if you want to live the full experience of this, if you can do it.
You can connect the PS5 controller on the PC too, right? And it works that way, I think.
I think it also works.
We should try it. Yeah, you should try it.
I think it does.
I think it works.
I should know the answer to this, but I don't.
Right, because for folks who haven't played it, you pedal the bike by alternating the triggers as if they were the pedals of the bicycle.
So yeah, the bike is one of those features that we needed to design it just right. We wanted the player feel the most realistic and cool experience riding the bike. There are several factors on this regard. For instance, there are two cool things about surfaces. First one is the bump. When you're
riding your bike,
and you go from asphalt to gravel, you have a little bump. Well, yeah, yes, we designed those for some key surfaces in the game. So just a little bump on the road, and it makes all the difference.
So as you're transitioning, instead of just crossfading from one surface to another, you're giving that kind of tactile sound and vibration to help reinforce the fact that you've transitioned material types.
Yes,
cool.
Exactly.
It's like a transition segment in the music system, but for the bike ride.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So yeah, when we started to work on it, it was the first time we tried the resistance of the controller. So to emphasize it, we added a custom haptic, a custom sound that coupled with this resistance. So that became the first pedaling strike of your bike. So you have a little it's like doing sport in some way. So it's a really cool feeling, and you feel it. You're feeling like you are riding a real bike.
Basically, like the first few strikes when you start biking, the haptic feedback is very strong. So it gives a bit of the feeling of you're starting to bike, you have to press, more on the pedals, and then after a few strikes, like the bike is rolling. So then you switch to the looping parts of the surfaces and the sounds.
So for the normal ride, we use audiophiles sources. Sometimes we have to boost the volume quite high, because we want to have a different effect. But we also add the graph as wise motion sources.
Yeah, so that's like the gravel or something.
And when we say wise motion source, what you mean is like authoring, vibration that would go alongside the sound, but that vibration is just more interesting, whether it's patterns of vibration that are complementary to the sound, that feel more like the sound sounds. That's definitely, it's an art form in itself.
Yeah, so we have audio loops for each surfaces and various sound from the bike chain and such.
It's like a 2-second loop, so you would maybe think that it gets annoying and you feel the redundancy, but since you also have a few bike loops from the same surface that are audio loops sent to wise motion, then everything blends together and creates this randomization.
Yeah, so the loop is less predictable.
Because you have multiple layers of haptics. You have the wise motion source, and you have the surface material audio loop that's contributing to the vibration in the controller. And I get it. All of that variation just lends itself to being less recognizable.
Yeah, and all this is modulated by the speed of the bike. So if you're riding faster, then you have kind of more,
It all feels more bumpy than if you're riding slower, then it's smoother.
Yeah, it's a very tactile experience to pedal the bike because you're actively a participant in it, and all of the considerations you've made around the care of that experience and how it feels over time really makes sense, because it should be joyful when you're pedaling well and on your way. You wouldn't want to detract from that experience.
We also had to
Yes.
keep in mind the possibility of hand fatigue too, which is something that's very real with the haptics on the PS5 controllers, that we didn't want them to be too intense for too long.
Yes.
Like eventually they get almost imperceivable when you've been biking for a while, because otherwise if your hands are just rattling the entire time you're playing the game, when you're done playing, your hands feel really weird.
Yeah.
So nice work. Yeah. And that all again, back to this running theme of, getting the technology out of the way so that you can just experience the intention that the game has for you to be mindfully exploring this world and exploring this story. It really holds up, because that detail, I remember it, but now that you've illustrated it so clearly, I don't really know that I noticed.
You need to go play again.
It was just a very pleasant experience that I believed it. I believed it wholeheartedly. So, nice work.